Chapter 241. After this fight, it appeared that Jasper had finally decided to challenge Elise. He slowly stepped towards the battlefield and said with a smile hiding the thrill he was feeling, "I want to fight the first person." His tone sounded normal to others, but Alex knew what a crazy character Jasper was. Elise responded with a confident smile, too, and went to the opposite side Jasper had gone. Both Elise and Jasper released their Pokémon almost simultaneously. Pokémon. Fearow. LV. 23. Type. Normal, flying. Ability. Sniper, hidden ability. Gender. Male. Potential. Shallow gold. Moves. Growl. Peck. Leer. Pursuit. Focus energy. Fury attack. Aerial ace. Mirror move. TM. Protect. Pokémon. Arbok. LV. 24. Type. Poison. Ability. Intimidate. Gender. Female. Potential. Shallow gold. Moves. Innate talent Toxic E. Innate talent Crunch. Innate talent Screech. TM Protect. TM Rock Slide. Alex saw that Arbok was stronger than Fearow and could understand better why Andrew had ranked him first, especially since he wasn't privy to the same information as Alex. Although he was a bit surprised that Arbok reached the shallow gold, it wasn't as surprising as it was with Elise. Jasper's father has a Pokémon over level 35 and is almost an elite trainer. Although he is not very rich, he should be able to buy a good quality item for Jasper if he had saved his money beforehand. Or maybe he had an item from his stepmother. The thoughts about why Jasper was in the first place initially took over Alex's mind for a while. He knew that the main reason why he was ranked first was probably Jasper's Arbok having a level higher than Elise's Fearow. And also, maybe Andrew saw how his Ekans knew Rock Slide and therefore put him first. He felt that if Andrew really had the same information as Alex, he would probably put Elise first. Both of her expert rank moves are very effective against Arbok in combat. And even with the slight level handicap, Alex would estimate that Elise has a 60% chance of winning. Before the fight starts, Jasper went to Arbok and gave a big warm hug before whispering something in her ear. Arbok, who heard what Jasper was saying, made a tender expression and began to wriggle around Jasper's body. Really, in the middle of the battlefield. Alex couldn't stand this scene anymore. Crobat, who was hovering behind Alex, said with a disgusted expression, "She really has no control over her body as she shows her arousal so openly." What a perverted Arbok. Alex, who heard Crobat's words, was astonished. To him, it looked like Jasper was the bigger pervert of the two, but Crobat clearly had the opposite idea. As he was walking back, Arbok gave a slight smack to his butt with her tail. Jasper turned his head back and only gave a slight smirk in response. Not only Alex, but all rookies and the Pokémon who saw it were stunned. Fuck, why did I have to meet so many perverts in the last couple of weeks? First Lisa and Lars and now this shit, thought Alex as he questioned his luck. After his brief shock, he said aloud, "Participant Jasper, stop wasting time." Alex was starting to get really pissed off watching something like that. Jasper just gave a slight nod as he said, "Oh, I didn't mean to make anyone jealous. I'm deeply apologetic." Alex was momentarily speechless. He was mentally defeated and just wanted to get through this tournament and never talk to Jasper again. Fearow. Start with the feather dance. Arbok. Use toxic. Both trainers started immediately to use their status moves which might play a critical role in this fight. Arbok and Fearow both finished almost simultaneously and hit each other with the moves. Fearow. Use focus energy. Arbok. Use screech. Both trainers had decided to continue the use of status moves even if they were not on the expert rank. Alex wasn't exactly sure, but it seemed to him that Elise had a bigger advantage after these exchanges. And after using focus energy, there should be a good chance you will deal a crit hit in 3 or 4 attacks. Both Pokémon finished almost simultaneously again. Arbok. Use Rock Slide. There was suddenly a confident glint in Elise's eyes as she said, "Fearow, use Drill Run." Both Pokémon went to the offense with this round. Elise finished first, and since Arbok couldn't move while preparing her move, she was hit heavily. Although she was able to prevent a hit to her head, Arbok took a good deal of damage from that attack. Fearow. Carry on with Drill Run. Arbok also got done preparing Rock Slide. Firo could still move while preparing drill run. So she tried to evade the rocks falling from the sky like rain, but she was hit by one of them at the end. And it wasn't a normal hit either, but a hit on the head. A critical hit. Firo suffered great damage from this hit and even had to cancel his prepared move. Elise showed a grimaced face but said in a calm voice, "Firo, use drill run, again. Arbok, carry on with rock slide." Jasper saw that Firo had taken good damage. Together with Toxic, Firo would not last much longer. Once again, Firo finished first and used drill run against Arbok, who couldn't move. Firo hit again but failed to deliver a critical hit by hitting Arbok in her weak spot. Firo, try to avoid rock slide, but as soon as you realize that you can't, use protect. Firo has a high speed stat, so it was not impossible to avoid rock slide while preparing the move. But if it doesn't work like the previous time, using protect now was the best choice since she can't let this fight go on for long due to the poisoned status. Arbok finished her move, and big rocks immediately started falling from the sky. Rock slide is a totally random move, so it is sometimes easier to dodge depending on the luck. This time, Firo somehow managed to dodge the rocks just alone with his speed while preparing drill run. Jasper's face turned grim. Even though he was angry and filled with anxiety, he didn't know what to do about it. Rock slide was his most important move. If it didn't work, then he might lose. Arbok, use glare. Even though he was wasting one turn of attack move, he knew he had to stop Firo from evading. Firo used the expert rank move, drill run, for the third time, and Arbok had to go through some serious injuries due to it. Now both Arbok and Firo looked equally bad even though Firo had to endure a critical move. Firo was slightly worse as it was taking additional damage from its poisoned status every second since the start. Elise said next, protect yourself from glare. When Arbok used glare, protect blocked it. Firo, use drill run. Arbok, just use rock slide. Jasper realized that the fight was getting tight, but he still thought that he had the higher ground. Arbok still had more than 40% HP left and should be able to take at least 2 more hits from drill run. But Firo, who was poisoned, only had to be hit once by rock slide and the poison will do the rest of the work. Again, Firo finished first and used drill run. This time, Firo hit Arbok particularly well, and Arbok cried out in pain. It was a critical hit. Arbok tried to stay conscious but failed to do so and fell to the ground. Jasper was shocked to the core and cried out, "What?" Chapter 442. Jasper looked at his unconscious Arbok, and his face suddenly darkened. After a few seconds, he started huffing with uncontrollable rage, and his eyes began to exude a wave of unhinged anger and coldness. He looked at Elise and started yelling, "How dare you hurt my beloved and beautiful Arbok? I will tear you to pieces for it. No, that's not good enough for what you have done." Jasper started to think of his revenge, with a grim expression and started speaking maniacally. "I'll asterisk your arms and legs. And then, I will close your asterisk with asterisk so that you don't die too quickly. I'll keep you alive and make you watch your Pokemon writhe in pain. Neither you nor your Pokemon will be spared. My darling will inject your Pokemon with painful poison so that it will go through a slow and painful death. After you've watched your Pokemon get tortured and killed, I'll slowly asterisk you to death." Elise showed no reaction against these gruesome and detailed statements told by Jasper. She ignored Jasper and looked at Alex as she asked, "Instructor John, can I kill him after this threat? What are the rules about killing someone?" Alex looked at Elise and said, "Usually, you have no right. But as long as a high-ranking person, such as me, confirms that he tried to kill you or your Pokemon, you can kill him for self-defense. But in Team Rocket, such insults or threats are normally ignored unless they are directed at a person with a higher rank than the speaker. Other than that, only if one of the involved parties tries a fatal attack on the other trainer or the unconscious Pokemon, you may kill the attacker. But in this case, it is important to be able to prove that this was really the case, or else." Alex didn't finish the sentence, but Elise understood the implication. Jasper seemed to be in his own world as he went to Arbok and healed her hurriedly with a potion. After seeing that the wounds of Arbok were healing at a visible rate, he finally calmed down. His mind was finally on track. But what he had done just a minute ago came to his mind, and an instant realization came upon him of what a dangerous mistake he had made. Threatening other participants in front of an instructor was really risky. Not to mention, the person he threatened would probably soon be a direct subordinate of this instructor. Jasper wasn't stupid and quickly realized that he had made a big blunder. He looked at Elise and said in a mild tone, "I'm sorry for the impolite and extreme words. When I saw my beloved unconscious on the floor, I couldn't control my anger for a short time. My previous words are not to be taken seriously, and I want to apologize to you again for what I said before." Elise had maintained her typical, gentle, smile so far as she said, "Is that so? Then I'll take your words and forgive you." Jasper felt that Elise's words were too unnatural. Especially with that perpetual smile, it made it impossible to believe that Elise had really forgiven him. After a few seconds of hesitation, he took 10 hyper potions out of his TRH device and gave them to Elise. "This is my compensation for those harsh words. I hope you can forgive me. Hyper potions are not cheap, and one hyper potion costs around 1,000 Pokédollars." Jasper gave Elise 10,000 Pokédollars as compensation for his earlier behavior, which shows that Jasper understands his position very well. Normally, Jasper wouldn't do that. But since Elise would soon become a direct subordinate of a Team Rocket elite captain, he knew that he wouldn't be able to survive if Elise decides to take revenge afterwards. Although he can become a subordinate of a Team Rocket executive, there is no comparison. Direct subordinates are treated very differently by their bosses than normal subordinates. Direct subordinates have many advantages over normal subordinates. That's why the position of a direct subordinate of a Team Rocket elite captain is higher than a subordinate of a Team Rocket executive. Alex saw how Jasper handled the situation and thought, only if he wasn't so crazy, he would have become a good subordinate. Elise's plastic smile didn't change as she wordlessly took the items from Jasper. Although Jasper didn't hear anything else from Elise, he felt he had made the right decision. Losing 10,000 Pokédollars was a minor pain for Jasper, but he still had enough money that it wasn't a huge loss. After this fight, no one else came forward to challenge. Alex ended the tournament and gave prizes to the top 10 like Team Rocket usually does. After the prizes were handed out, he said with a powerful voice, "Elise, come to my office in 30 minutes. Arthur, Jasper, and Simon, follow me now." Then he looked at the other rookie and said indifferently, "Andrew, you take care of the rest." Alex didn't feel like wasting time after these mediocre trainers. Although the talent in this group was much higher because Alex made A-rank Pokémon available to the rookies, most of the trainers were still not up to the standard Alex was hoping for. Only Arthur, Jasper, Simon, and Elise were good trainers, according to Alex. Alex believed that each of these trainers will at least reach the elite ranks in 1 year if they manage to survive till then, that is. Even talented trainers and Pokémon often die in the first year, when they are below the elite rank, without achieving their full potential. These trainers can try not to enter the wilderness in the first year, but this will have a very negative effect on the strength and potential of their Pokémon. Alex had made an appointment with Lisa before the tournament and told her about the talented rookies he would be bringing her. Lisa knew that Alex had given these rookies the option for choosing A-rank Pokémon and believed that many good trainers would show up in this selection. She accepted Alex's offer and promised him a little favor, as long as the rookies were good enough. Alex came with the 3 rookies in front of Lisa's door and knocked. Although he had an appointment, he didn't want to take any chances. "Come in, Tilda." Alex and the rookies walked into the big office and saw a massive Pokémon sitting behind Lisa. Pokémon. Lugia, Half-Blood. LV. 48. Type. Psychic, Flying. Abilities. Pressure. Gender. Female. Potential. Shallow Diamond. Moves. Weather Ball, Whirlwind, Gust, Dragon Rush, Extrasensory, Rain Dance, Hydro Pump, Aeroblast. Perfect Talent, Ice Beam M. Perfect Talent, Roost M. TM Protect. TM Shadow Ball. TM Light Screen, TM Thunderbolt, TM Thunder Wave, TM Fly, TM Dragon. Chapter 243. When Alex saw this huge Pokémon in this spacious office, he couldn't help but think, "Ah. So she wants to impress her new subordinate with her most majestic Pokémon. This Lugia seems to be making relatively little progress when it comes to move mastery. Alex took another close look at the info of Lugia and compared it with the info he saw 6 months ago. Although Alex does not remember all the information of Lugia after 6 months, he remembered the most important things. The level, the potential in which move had reached the expert rank. He recalled that Lugia was, at LV41, had a shallow diamond potential and only had 2 perfect talent moves on the expert rank. Alex was not surprised by Lisa not being able to improve the potential of Lugia. But the level and the move mastery was whole another matter. The fact that Lugia had risen 7 levels showed that Lisa had trained Lugia at least a lot in the wild and in general. But, there being only 2 moves on the master rank and Lugia having no other move on the expert rank was not what Alex expected. Usually, it is possible for a good trainer to train his SS rank Pokemon's 1 perfect talent expert rank move to the master rank within a month. The level shows that Lisa trained Lugia a lot, but the move mastery says the total opposite. Alex thought for a moment what the reason could be, but he immediately recognized why this was so. Is it my fault? Thought Alex with a wry smile. He often received Lugia's scales filled with energy that makes it impossible to train effective move for a period of time. Reinforcing a scale filled with energy for 1 month in a row ensures that a Pokemon can hardly use moves for the rest of the day. Maximum enough to have a couple of long fights. And even after this month, the body has to slowly restore its energy. So it is normal to train its moves in a non-optimal manner for another half a month. It's really not worth making a Pokemon item if you don't want to waste a lot of time in move mastery. Move mastery is a very important part of the strength of a Pokemon, and the money is not worth enough for Alex to hardly be able to advance in move mastery. Alex also started thinking about the potential when he saw that it hadn't changed yet. Lugia was a born shallow diamond like all other half-blood legendary Pokemon, but she still couldn't improve her potential. Her born potential is even better than Steven's Metagross, but it's still on the shallow diamond. Lisa doesn't have to buy any items for Lugia. Wait a minute, is it not possible for half-blood legendary Pokemon to improve their potential? Wondered Alex. Lisa looked at Alex, who was deep in thoughts and got impatient as she said, "Hey, are you too shocked to say anything, or else why are you standing around like an idiot?" Alex, who heard Lisa berating him, had the feeling that Lisa was in a bad mood today. He said in a calm manner, "No, I'm just surprised that Executive Lisa has made such a great advance with Lugia." Lisa's eyes twitched briefly. Although Alex was right that Lugia had gained a lot of levels, her move mastery was ridiculously slow. If she wasn't sure that Alex cannot find such details about her Lugia, she would have thought that he was making fun of her. Executive Lisa. Before Lisa could say anything, Alex asked with a slightly vague tone, "By any chance, did you buy any items for Lugia to improve its potential? Because Lugia seems to look quite different today." Lisa, who heard such a stupid question, felt that Alex was making fun of her. One could see the slight anger in her eyes as she said, "What are you talking about? Lugia is SS rank, and it is not possible to reach a higher potential." Alex smiled when he said, "Haha, I know. I thought Executive Lisa would get it that I was just joking." Lisa rubbed her forehead and said, "Of all the days where you can be so annoying, it has to be today. Anyway, let's talk about the rookies you want to introduce me to." Alex didn't say anything and took out papers from his TRH device and gave them to Lisa without uttering a word. He had prepared these papers beforehand. He had told Andrew to make such papers on top 10 and other people who had A-rank Pokemon, keeping in mind that there might be someone with a hidden talent. Though that ended up being pointless. Lisa noticed that Alex wanted to hide the contents of the 3 rookies and looked at the sheet of paper with a curious expression. Name: Jasper Kleinman. Age 16. The only living relative is his father, Peter Kleinman. Talent value: 90. Intelligence: very high, but drops to below average when the mental state is out of. Stability: loyalty: unknown. Mental state: very unstable if his Pokemon is injured but otherwise relatively stable. Pokemon: Arbok very faithful, estimated level 22 to 25, estimated potential, S rank. Simon Webrun. Age 16. No living relatives. Talent value: 83. Intelligence: very high, but difficult to assess. Loyalty, unknown. Mental state, stable but difficult to assess. Pokemon, coughing, estimated level 22 to 25, estimated potential, A rank. Name, Arthur Jones, age 16, relatives, unknown. Talent value, 81. Intelligence, unknown. Loyalty, unknown. Mental state, stable but difficult to assess. Pokemon, Arbok, estimated level 20 to 23, estimated potential, A rank. Alex knew how Team Rocket documented its members and also used it to give Lisa the most important information. Everything was very self-explanatory except for talent value. You had to adhere to very strict requirements in order to enter the correct number. Talent value is a number that an appraiser has to give in order to roughly evaluate the potential of a trainer. A table has to be read that helps to find a correct number in this imprecise system. Talent similar to an Elite 4 member, 100 to 96. Talent similar to an average gym leader, 95 to 90. Talent similar to an average Team Rocket executive, 89 to 85. Talent similar to an average Team Rocket elite captain, 84 to 70. Talent similar to an average Team Rocket captain, 69 to 50. Talent similar to an average Team Rocket elite member, 49 to 30. Talent similar to an average Team Rocket member, 29 to 1. It should be noted that a value of 85 and over there denotes the rookies with the best talent. As for the values over 90 are very hard to come by and each point is a huge leap in talent. Although Alex assesses the talent of these rookies, this is only his assessment and not confirmed by Team Rocket so that it will not go into their files and is only used because Lisa has a better understanding of the rookies. 90 is pretty high and Alex doesn't think that Jasper has the same talent as Misty or Brock, whom he rates as low gym leaders. But Jasper is probably just a little worse than Alex gave a 90 anyway. He knew that there was a big difference between 89 and 90, so he slightly overrated Jasper. Lisa saw what Alex had written and couldn't help but smile when she saw Alex write a score of 90 for Jasper. But after reading that Jasper has an S-rank Pokemon that is very faithful, she could understand why Alex wrote that. She looked at Alex who was standing in front of her and said, "Are you sure?" Alex looked at Lisa and said, "With the potential, I'm 99% sure." Lisa smiled again and said softly so that the rookie couldn't hear, "I'm very satisfied with this rookie, especially with a very talented one. But I'm curious, why don't you take Jasper himself as a subordinate?" Alex knew that this question was coming and he said to himself, "I don't like dogs that I can't control." "I thought you could understand." Lisa didn't say anything for a moment. After a few seconds she said, "Okay, I owe you a little." Alex looked at Lisa with a smile and left the room with a smile. He didn't care what she did with these rookies after hearing those words. He opened the door in the room and left without saying another word. Chapter 244. Alex went back to his office and thought about the best way to find out the real side of Elise. All of Alex's Pokemon, except Shuppet, who was hiding in Alex's shadow, were in their Pokeballs, so the office was pretty empty. Gradivoire can use her ability to read emotions even when she is in her Pokeball. But according to Gardevoir, the range is greatly decreased. But the range of Elise sitting in the chair in front of him was enough for Gardevoir to hear, see and perceive her emotions. Although Gardevoir can perceive emotion, it is essential that Alex steers the conversation in such a way that this ability can unfold its full effects. For example, if he asks whether Elise is a spy or not and Gardevoir feels a bit of nervousness from her, it doesn't mean that Elise is a spy. In the case of a false accusation, it is normal to briefly feel anger and then a slight nervousness after you have calmed down a bit. But this is the usual case, and many people may react differently in different situations depending on their personality. Alex heard in his old world about a case where a man was wrongly arrested for a robbery but was very calm throughout the interrogation and hardly reacted angrily to the unjust accusation. Also, in the questioning, his interrogator's first words were, "I know you are guilty and just want to ask why you committed this robbery." This would make any person retaliate angrily or make them nervous due to the first time having such an experience, but not this person. Normally, only the criminals, who have experienced such things many times, can keep their calm under the mental torture of such an intense interrogation. So, his calm and unwavering behavior made him look even more suspicious, even though he was totally innocent. Alex thought of another way how he can best find out the information he wanted to know without the personality distorting the result of his test. And that was the initial, genuine, instinctual reaction and the series of emotions she displays afterwards. He wanted to know whether or not Elise was a spy from the Alliance. And, the best way to find out was him talking to Elise about the Alliance for a long time. If Gredevoir senses that Elise has hatred or long-term anger when she talks about the Alliance, Elise would immediately pass the test. If Elise holds negative emotions against the Alliance, it would be highly unlikely that she is a spy sent by the Alliance. Why would the Alliance send a spy who hates them? Alliance is not naive. The most valuable quality of a spy is his/her loyalty. Alex thinks that the Alliance sending a potentially disloyal spy is extremely unlikely. If Elise has no particular emotional fluctuation throughout the conversation, it is also a good result for Alex. If Alex talks to her about the Alliance for a long time, but she doesn't feel worried or nervous, then the chance of her being a spy would also be very low. But then he would have to do a few other tests to be absolutely sure to make sure that Elise isn't a monster who hardly feels any emotions. Only if she shows positive emotions or is nervous during the conversation would reinforce Alex's suspicion that she is a spy. Although it wouldn't prove she was a spy for sure, Alex would treat her that way afterwards and even tell Team Rocket about the possibility. Alex doesn't want to damage his good relationship with Team Rocket because he overlooked a spy. Although he felt that he was being a bit too cautious here, he didn't want to take any chances with his 3 direct subordinates. Alex intended to let only 3 of his direct subordinates know about his true identity, and that can only happen if he can really trust them. They will be the core of his organization in the future, so he doesn't want to take any risk of a spy being in one of those positions. As Alex thought about these things, he heard a knock and the voice of Elise. "May I come in, Instructor John?" "Yes," Alex gave a curt reply. Elise came into the room and examined the room in a brief second. Alex looked at her briefly and said, "Elise, it's good that you're here. Come, sit." Elise nodded with a gentle smile on her face and said, "Thank you very much for the hospitality, Instructor John." Alex gave a slight smile as he said, "No problem. You must be wondering why I want to talk to you, right?" Elise continued to answer with a polite tone, "I would be lying if I said that I am not curious. You can treat this as a friendly conversation combined with an interview." "Ah, Instructor John, this makes me a little nervous." Alex heard Gardevoir say via telepathy, "No," she's completely calm and even a little bit relieved. It seems she was expecting something like this. Despite hearing the words from Gardevoir, Alex didn't change his face when he said, "Don't worry. I'll just ask a few easy questions and otherwise, talk to you about a few light topics." "Okay, let's start with the first question. Why did you choose Spearow as your starter Pokémon, and why an A-rank Pokémon?" Alex wanted to hide his motives with these questions and, in the process, understand Elise's character a little better. The reason is pretty simple. I wanted to have a flying-type Pokémon as a starter first, so I had to decide between Zubat and Spearow. And about choosing an A-rank Pokémon, any smart person who has confidence in her capabilities would do that. Of course, there is a risk. But it's a calculated risk. Alex showed a slightly curious expression when he said, "I see. And the reason for choosing Fearow?" There was a wide smile on Elise's face for the first time as she said, "Spearow and Fearow are just so cute that I had to pick them." Alex was slightly surprised and could not say anything for a short time. This reason was actually weird and too obvious, even for a lie. Gredevoir's voice could be heard in Alex's head again. She was in a slightly happy mood when she said that. Alex wasn't sure what to do with this info. Chapter 245. Although Elise gave an odd reason for choosing Fearow as the starter Pokémon, her choice wasn't necessarily a mistake, according to Alex. Even if the species is objectively worse compared to other species, in games and in this world, it is not the most important factor in choosing a Pokémon. According to Alex, the potential is the most important factor when you are choosing a Pokémon, even more than the type or species of a Pokémon. Of course, there are also species that also have an advantage. But each Pokémon should be evaluated individually and not mainly based on its species. Though it is true that some Pokémon type appear better than others. For example, a Bug-type Pokémon compared to a Dragon-type Pokémon. Many Bug-type species have a lower average potential than the Pokémon species of other types. While there are no Dragon-type species where a Pokémon is born with a potential worse than A rank, with many even being born S rank. The average potential of many species can vary widely, but that doesn't mean that Dragon-type Pokémon species are necessarily better than Bug-type Pokémon species. Bug-type Pokémon still have a few species that have a good average potential. To give an example, the Volcarona species, like Dragon-type species, is born with at least an A rank potential. Although all Dragon species have good potential, they all have huge drawbacks, such as the very late arrival of their final form. When you keep in mind that almost all rookies die in the first year, starting with a Dragon-type Pokémon like Dano is a very risky decision. And even as a normal elite trainer, it should be very difficult to reach high levels like 50 or even 55. This is also a reason why Hydreigon is often sold among all Dragon species for the lowest price, even though this Dragon species has the best average talent of all non-legendary Dragon-type Pokémon. Who would want to wait until level 64? Or even longer. With bad luck, before his Pokémon can show its full strength. Apart from that, only the people like Elite Four or strong gym leaders have the potential to train such a Pokémon on this level. Each species has advantages and disadvantages to consider when choosing them as your team member. That's why Alex thinks that evaluating the individual Pokémon as the smartest way, and species is only one of the factors. Which moves or innate talent moves can often be more important to Alex than the species of a Pokémon. Even the character of a Pokémon can play a bigger role than the species. Although Alex thinks the reason Elise gave it is a bit stupid, he didn't believe that Elise really chose Pokémon based on the looks. After a short pause, Alex asked, trying to pry more, "Is that your main reason why you chose these Pokémon species?" Elise lightly chuckled as she said, "Hee hee. Instructor John, I'm sorry, but I thought that it was obvious that I was joking." Alex observed Elise's reaction and thought she looked really relaxed for the situation where she was. Well then, let's talk about something else. What is your goal, or why did you join Team Rocket? Elise showed a happy expression as if she was waiting for this question. Oh, that's because Team Rocket is a very good place to become a Pokémon trainer. You can get so many things, and the restrictions are minimal compared to the benefits. Especially if you are strong or talented, it's a perfect choice. Gradivoire's voice could be heard from Alex again. Her mood got a little brighter when she talked about it. Alex felt it was time to ask the questions that are important to him. I see. And, what do you think of the Alliance program for young trainers? After the Team Rocket question, this questioning seemed fluid and a perfect topic to follow after the previous question. Elise continued to smile. Instructor John, are you talking about the program where only 100 trainers get selected every year, or the Pokémon School? Alex looked closely at Elise and said, both. What do you think of them? Elise kept her composure as she said, I wasn't lucky enough to be able to participate in one of these programs or go to a school that offers something like that. I don't know much about it except that it is not for normal people, and especially not for someone with low status like me. Alex said calmly, yes, the Alliance treats some groups of people a little bit worse, but most of the people thought that it wasn't as bad as you said. He said the words, most people thought it wasn't that bad, to get a reaction out of her. Elise's eyes were slightly out of focus as if she was thinking about something when she heard Alex's words. Alex waited and then heard the voice of Gardevoir as she said, I can feel many extreme emotions right now. But the strongest are anger, dislike, and contempt. Elise seemed to have put her thoughts aside after a few seconds. She said, this time without a smile, Instructor John, we both know that this aspect of the Alliance is very disgusting and unfair. So please don't test a reaction from me. I hate this particular topic. Alex smiled as he said, I'm sorry for the discomfort you felt. We have to do this to find out if you are a spy from the Alliance. But after seeing your reaction, I am now confident that you really have no positive opinion of the Alliance and that you are not a spy. Elise gave a wry smile and said, spy. I understand now. You were really smart, Instructor John. I only noticed now that it was your intention all along. Alex didn't react to the blatant compliments of Elise. He asked Gardevoir telepathically, did she feel some kind of relief or worry when I told her that I believe her that she is not a spy? Gardevoir replied telepathically, no, I couldn't feel any kind of relief or worry. But I could feel slight anger, vigilance, and admiration. Alex, who heard this, now felt that Elise had passed the spy test. He felt that Elise cannot be a spy and that he now simply has to find out whether Elise, like Daniel, has a personality that he can easily control or predict. Okay, let's end the interview with one last question. How did you improve the potential of your Fearow? Elise showed a surprised expression and was suddenly on her toes as she began looking around the room. An S-rank Pokemon that is still below the elite rank and has not been with the trainer for too long is not that difficult to control, so it can be sold for money. And for an S-rank Fearow, you can get 8 or 10 million because it can be used as a flying mount. If Alex kills Elise or just takes her Pokemon, he can make 10 million Pokédollars. Especially because Alex originally owned the Pokemon and Elise owed 70,000 Pokédollar to Alex, he can easily think of a reason to snatch the Pokemon. Alex had such thoughts about Jasper's Arbok. But after seeing the relationship between Jasper and Arbok, he knew it wouldn't work. Selling gold Pokemon is much harder than silver Pokemon. Many buyers want to do multiple tests with the Pokemon before they buy it. It is also often only possible with sellers where there is a good relationship between buyers and sellers. Nobody buys an S-rank Pokemon that is uncontrollable and can kill the trainer. If Jasper and Arbok didn't have such a good relationship, Alex would have made a different decision and confiscated the Arbok. Jasper's father doesn't seem to be weak, but he doesn't have the strength that Alex should be afraid of. Since Jasper also owes him the money, he can give Team Rocket a reason and doesn't have to worry about punishment. It would still cause a bit of trouble, but for several million, it is worth it. Alex looked at Elise and said with a soothing tone, although you may not understand the reason, for now, I am urgently looking for people with a certain amount of talent. So I do not intend to take your Pokemon. Elise looked at Alex in surprise. She couldn't understand how several million are comparable to her. Although she is a proud person, she is not so arrogant or stupid. She clearly understands her current position. She does not come from a family with access to rare training exercises of Pokemon types or species or as a person with psychic powers. The potential of her Pokemon is good and maybe even better than many elite trainers, but that's about it. What is the goal of the instructor? Elise thought. Chapter 246. Elise looked at Alex and asked with a slightly confused voice, can I ask you what is it you want in return that is worth missing out on several million? Then without waiting for Alex to reply, she smirked at Alex and said in a flirtatious tone, could it be that you want my body? I am not averse to doing a few rounds with such a handsome man for a few million. Elise gave a wink as she finished speaking. Alex showed no expression but was mentally bewildered. He thought with annoyance, fuck, as if I will give up 10 million because I want to sleep with you. This girl really has a very high level of self-esteem to even think of that possibility. I should add narcissism in the list of her traits. Alex said with a deadpan tone, no, that is not the reason. I will soon get a position higher or similar to an executive. That's why I'm in a need of talented trainers who are not older than 16. You are lucky that you chose the right time to join Team Rocket and have the chance to become a direct subordinate of mine. Elise, who had heard that she had the chance to be a direct subordinate from a person with a rank similar to an executive, knew that she had really hit a jackpot. As long as she gets this position, she wouldn't have to be afraid of other high-rank Team Rocket members. Albeit, she can't unnecessarily provoke them. Elise gave the best charming smile she could form and said, Instructor John, this sounds too good to be true. Alex said with an indifferent tone, you are right. It does sound very unbelievable, doesn't it? But it is true and even better than what you currently have in mind. Elise was astonished to hear this. What, even better? Alex gave a slight nod and said with a dazzling smile, I only need 3 direct subordinates, so you should understand the rarity and the benefits of such a position. Alex could see the amount of desire in her eyes having a sudden spike as he said this. Gardevoir said telepathically to Alex at this moment, she is currently feeling ecstasy along with a little bit of lust. Alex, who heard how Gardevoir stuttered, understood the reason. He said telepathically, well, it's just a little lust, right? That doesn't mean she's a pervert, right? Gardevoir didn't reply. Hearing no reply from Gardevoir, Alex told her, let's just not talk about it. Alex suppressed his thoughts and said with increased gravity in his voice, that is also the main reason why I had to make sure that you were not a spy. I also have to be aware of your situation. Now, then, tell me, how did you manage to get your Fearow to the S rank? Elise looked at Alex and said with a smile, Instructor John, do you know Ethan Brom? Before Alex could say anything, she said with an innocent expression, if you do, it would be easier to explain. Alex shook his head. He said while keeping eye contact, no, I don't know this person. Wait, did you just say the name, Brom? Elise gave a proud smile as she said, yes, the Brom family is rather well known in Pewter City and also a small power in the Alliance. Ethan Brom is the head of this Brom family. Head of this family, is this guy the father of the brat I met in the forest? Alex looked at her and asked, did this Ethan Brom give you the items or money? And, why are you mentioning him? Elise smiled grew wider as she said, I was the mistress of Ethan Brom. He was head over heels in love with me. He gave me a lot of expensive gifts. Later he even wanted to marry me, but I refused. I have big goals and would never marry such a mediocre man. Especially the one who is also mediocre in bed. The last sentence was really unnecessary. Alex thought annoyed. Alex didn't let his inner emotion change his expressions. He said, but I can't understand why you want to join Team Rocket when you have that much money. You don't need Team Rocket's help to become a trainer. Elise stopped smiling when she said, but I need Team Rocket to protect myself from Ethan Brom. I see. I am guessing Ethan Brom is still in love with you and won't be giving up on you so easily. Yes, I don't just want the help to become a trainer but also a strong back to protect me. Alex thought about what she just said. She should know that I can easily find out the truthfulness of this information, so she is very likely telling the truth. But I would have to check it just to be sure. Nonetheless, it speaks volumes of her character. Seducing a married man at the age of 16 and dump him as soon as it was not beneficial anymore. Although her character is crooked, it's not so off-putting that Alex wouldn't take her as a subordinate. She is greedy, manipulative and arrogant with a little bit of narcissism. But she is also rational and clever. So, Alex thinks he can predict her behavior. Alex didn't think Elise would dare betray him as long as he kept a strong position, and there wasn't anything to gain for her. Similar to Daniel, her behavior is at least rational and anticipable. He would rather have a person with such a characteristic as a subordinate than a person who often reacts very emotionally. Alex looked with seriousness as he said, okay, you have met all my basic requirements. But to be sure, I will wait another 1 month before I make you a direct subordinate. You are basically a quasi-direct subordinate of mine. And as long as you don't disappoint me, you will soon become my direct subordinate. Elise gave a warm smile as she said, thank you very much, Instructor John. I will do my best not to disappoint you. Alex looked at Elise, who looked like a kind saint and said indifferently. Because danger for the novice rookies is very high, I will ask one of my direct subordinates to give you a lesson for 2 weeks. Use this chance to learn a lot and become stronger quickly, so you don't end up dying too soon. Elise started giving Alex an almost inviting look. Instructor John, you are such a great boss. Can I thank you somehow? Alex understood what she was trying to say. But he was indifferent to such things. As long as you are useful to me and understand your place, I will give you many advantages. You can wait in your room, and I will send you my direct subordinate in the next 2 days. Elise saw Alex was unaffected by her indirect sexual invitation. He even straight up ignored it and indirectly told her to get out. She got up while maintaining a gentle and friendly smile. She thanked Alex before going out. After she left the room, Gardevoir said, she felt admiration for you after you rejected her. Alex, who heard this, understood one thing. She looks down at the person who accepts such an invitation. Not that I can't understand that. Chapter 247. After Elise left the room, he picked up his TRH device and contacted Daniel. Boss. Hey, Daniel, can you talk right now? Yes, I'm in a safe zone right now. Okay, I need someone to train my future third subordinate in the wilderness for 2 weeks, and I cannot involve someone whom I can't trust with this important task. Daniel didn't say anything for a moment. Alex knew what Daniel was thinking. I can understand that you are making great strides on the island right now, and you are reluctant to waste your time. But I will reward you sufficiently if you accept this task. Daniel remembered the money he got from Alex when he led him to an S-rank Pokemon. This generosity convinced Daniel. No problem, boss. I'll leave the island today. Good. I'll be waiting for you here at the base in Pewter City. Alex and Daniel ended the conversation after talking about a few general things like training and Pokemon. Daniel often talks to Alex and asks for help, even though Daniel has a lot of knowledge through reading many books about Pokemon in his childhood. Alex's knowledge is even worse than Daniel's in terms of theoretical Pokemon knowledge. But Alex's Pokemon knowledge was much more practical, so Daniel can learn a lot of things from Alex. What are the optimal training times, the mood of the Pokemon, optimal move training and body training? Alex has extensive knowledge regarding that. Alex has read most of the good books containing such knowledge, and he has gained experience regarding them already. But the main reason why Alex's training was particularly good is that he tested and compared many different methods to have the best for his personal Pokemon. The combination of knowledge and the testing of possibilities. Although that doesn't sound particularly complicated to accomplish, it is very rare for the trainer or even elite trainer to create such an optimal training for their Pokemon. They have the knowledge but don't try anything new and stagnate with their limited training knowledge. In other cases, they don't have much knowledge. So, even after trying out many methods, they do not recognize which one is best. After the conversation, a smile covered Alex's face. The fact that Daniel agreed to train his third subordinate was the optimal result. Not only can Elise learn a lot and become a better and stronger trainer, but Daniel also gets stronger afterwards. As for the reward, Alex wanted to buy an item of value 2 or 3 million for Daniel's Butterfree to get it on the shallow gold rank. If Daniel has a second gold Pokemon, he will be much stronger in 1 year than with just one gold Pokemon. Deep Silver Pokemon starts to reach a soft cap with level 35, and the leveling up speed slows down as he had experienced with Ditto. Daniel's starter Beedrill, who has shallow silver potential, has apparently already reached his soft cap when it was only level 30 or so. The last time he saw Daniel's Pokemon, his starter Pokemon was a good deal lower in level than his other two Pokemon, a contradiction to the beginning. Alex believed that it would be difficult to level up Daniel's starter Pokemon after this soft cap was exceeded. He also asked about the progress Daniel had made till now, and Daniel told him the levels of his Pokemon. Beedrill, starter, was only at level 34, and Butterfree was only at level 37. Although Daniel has been training on the island for more than 15 days, 2 of his Pokemon have leveled up only 1 time. And even this level up was in the late days in the 15+ days. Alex remembers how his Pokemon Crobat, Scizor and Gardevoir made it leveled up 2 or 3 times in a similar time. After 3 weeks, Scizor was almost about to level up the 3rd time he leveled up a day later. Only Daniel's Beedrill with gold potential leveled up 2 times even though it has the highest level among all of Daniel's Pokemon. Alex also felt that it would be difficult for Daniel's other Pokemon if they don't reach gold. For Daniel's start Pokemon, that wasn't even born with a shallow silver, it would cost him a fortune to get it to the shallow gold rank. It would even cost him a lot more than what Alex had spent on Ditto, and that was very expensive and objectively very ineffective. Of course, Alex told Daniel about the secret that he had learned from Professor Walder after his rookie tournament victory in order to prevent Daniel from wasting his money. He had also told Maria. Alex thought that among Daniel's Pokemon, Butterfree is the one whose potential should be given first priority. If he doesn't do anything about her potential, she will continue to level up so slowly. Alex planned to tell Daniel explicitly that the item is best suited for Butterfree when he gives it to him after the training with Elise has been finished. With this, Elise and Daniel will both get stronger, and Alex only has to sacrifice 2 or 3 million. 2 or 3 million is not a small amount. But for Alex, it is worth it if he can increase his chance of victory. Alex wanted this position even though he knew that this position is not without danger. But he believed that after 1 year, he would at least be stronger than Brock. Not to mention, he will have 3 powerful elite trainers as subordinates. With that, even if he cannot conquer Hoen's underground, controlling at least one medium-sized city underground shouldn't be difficult. Thus, he will secure a source of a lot of money and influence. Together with the financial support from Team Rocket, this position is far too good to let go of, especially because Alex can make his subordinate faithful to himself and not to Team Rocket because it is an undercover mission. Although he has no plans to leave Team Rocket, having a card for the future scenario is important. For this plan, Alex has only one concern. Giovanni should be smart enough to understand that. Yet, he didn't give these missions to Team Rocket members who are extremely loyal to him. At least, Alex is not. Alex pondered over reasons, and he came up with different hypotheses. 1. Giovanni doesn't think that one of the 3 can manage to conquer Hoen's underground, and he just hopes that they can control a part of Hoen's underground. 2. He is disguising this as an opportunity. But, in truth, he knows that it is a suicide mission. He just wants to do as much damage as possible to the Hoenn underground. 3. He sees it as a little cost, big win investment. And that is the reason why he is doing it. These are the 3 theories that are most likely according to Alex. Alex personally thinks that 1 and 3 together are the truth and that 2 is too stupid and reckless for Giovanni to choose. If he really wanted to cause harm, why does he want to sacrifice the Team Rocket members with the best potential? Only if he is afraid of the potential of the rookies does that make sense, but Alex didn't think that Giovanni is such a person. Giovanni has Sabrina and Koga as subordinates who are very dangerous already shows that this is unlikely. Regardless of the reason, Alex did not believe that it was too dangerous or a trap by Giovanni. Chapter 248. Alex, sitting on the floor of his personal room, was in a meditative stance while his Pokémon were training. The main focus of this was to better control his psychic energy in his body through this practice. Although Alex has the reserves of a Tier 3 psychic, he still has to learn how to use his energy effectively in order to learn really important skills. Only when he has good enough control of his energy is it worth training his skills, according to Alex. Buzz. Alex had kept his TRH device on silent mode since the sound it makes when it vibrates due to the new notification was enough to grab his attention. When he checked what it was, he found a message from Maria. "Hey, Playboy Tilda, are you watching TV?" Alex was momentarily speechless. He called her and asked the first thing that had stuck in his mind, "Really? Playboy, you still plan to keep on calling me that? Why not? Even though you are second class, you are a Playboy nonetheless. And I also think that it's a good nickname. Much better than Honey or Sweetheart. Wow, I'm not only a Playboy but also a bad Playboy. Did I forget something important today? Or else why are you hitting me with an insult combo? Not bad, right? Playboy is the name Maria started using as a romantic nickname after they got together and started chatting with each other on a daily basis. Alex had read this name for 2 weeks constantly and found it very funny. He thinks that he generally has a bad relationship with the female gender if you exclude Maria. Nina Brahm and Misty both have a poor relationship with Alex. Alex is often indifferent to Lisa, though Lisa is a special case. He felt that this nickname had nothing to do with reality and that he was a proud and serious man. Well, most of the time. You know what? I was just thinking about a good name suitable for you. What do you think of the name, Small? Alex counterattacked. Maria thought for a moment before she understood what he meant by that. Although Alex is taller than she is already quite tall for a woman's standard. So he definitely didn't mean her height by this name. Maria didn't say anything for a moment, but anger was bubbling inside her. After a few seconds, she said in a dry voice, "Ha ha. You're making fun of my small breasts, how original. But 2 people can play this game. I'll call you Small from now on too, in public to top it off. Let's see who gets more embarrassed." Alex, who was above average, understood what people would think if Maria called him that. Alex couldn't control his anger this time. "You bitch. That's a lie, and you know it." Maria's angry voice could also be heard through the TRH device as she said, "And that I have small breasts isn't a lie, you bastard. I just wanted to make a joke. Me too. ... Alex and Maria didn't say anything to each other for a moment. After a few seconds, Maria said, "I hope you know, I would never try to humiliate you like that in public. Alex answered with an apologetic tone, my joke was really a bit too much this time. I hope this joke didn't hurt your feelings. She said softly, don't worry. Love you, Playboy. The happy smile had found its way back on Alex's face as he said with an invigorated tone, I love you too, Maria. After this romantic moment, Alex suddenly said, and I checked, you really have above-average breasts for your age. Maria started to slightly smile as she said seductively, hee tilde what a coincidence. I also checked the size of your piece. Not bad tilde. This seductive tone had done its charm as Alex's libido had increased. When are you coming back? I've only been on the island for 2 weeks, and I want to stay on it for at least 1 month. Alex was disappointed hearing this. But I can fly back for a day tomorrow. This sentence alone made Alex's emotions go 180. Alex grinned, sounds good. Although both had a small argument today, neither was really angry with the other and tried to be considerate towards each other. Both know that neither gets really hurt by insults. So both sometimes use insults like bitch or bastard. It was a weird relationship but a very solid one. Ah, I almost forgot why I called you. Did you turn on the TV? Alex was confused about why Maria wanted to talk about it now. No, why? Something interesting happened. This topic doesn't come up in their usual conversation. Alex knows that Maria doesn't watch TV very often, so he believed something important must have happened. Maria said, in 2 minutes, there will be an interview with a future gym leader who has been approved by the Alliance. I don't think I have to tell you who it is. Misty. Maria said nothing for a moment and said indifferently, how is your relationship with her? Alex said with laughter, haha. Do you really think I would develop feelings for a child? Hasn't she turned 14 this year? It's only 2 years away from being considered an adult. Although every trainer is an adult, it is only in the eyes of law. In this world, 16 is the age when one is treated as an adult and also for non-trainers to be legally regarded as an adult. Alex said with a cheeky smile, you're so cute when you're jealous. Go suck your asterisk. Alex wanted to say, I think that's your job, but refrained from doing so since he didn't want to ruin his chance for tomorrow for a joke, no matter how good a joke he thinks it was. Though he had to struggle a lot with himself to not say it. He said with a smile, Misty and I have a very bad relationship. I don't have her contact details, and I have no interest in getting them. Maria, who was satisfied with this answer, said with a slightly happy tone, even if she tried to suppress it, good. But you should still watch this interview to understand the general situation of Kanto. Without waiting for Alex to answer, she said, okay, the interview is about to start, so I'll hang up. See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow. Chapter 249. After spending a year in this world, Alex understood the difference between the gyms here, in this world, and the ones in the games very well. In this world, gyms are classified by the Alliance in 3 categories. These categories also determine the highest level of badge one can get upon successfully passing the gym challenge. Unofficial gyms. These gyms do not receive any support from the Alliance and cannot give badges issued by the Alliance. Official gyms. These gyms are supported by the Alliance and can award only B badge to the successful challenger. The main gyms. There are only 8 main gyms per region, and these are the most important gyms in a region. Not only do they get massive financial support, but also a great deal of political power in the Alliance. They can award all badges, B badge, A badge, and S badge, upon the successful challenge. Badges are also categorized into 3 ranks to show how much strength the gym leader has used in the fight. B badge. A trainer can get this badge without having to fight the gym leader. Often, there is only a fight against a trainee in the gym who is responsible for rookie trainers. When a trainer challenges the gym for a B badge, the gym leader or trainee can use Pokemon only between levels 10 to 39. But mostly Pokemon with levels, similar to the challenger's Pokemon, are used. A badge. This badge can only be obtained from a fight against the gym leader and usually requires an appointment. These fights are also often broadcasted when a gym leader thinks that the battle with the challenger can be interesting and captivating and uses this to increase the popularity of gym leaders. In this fight, the gym leader will use Pokemon between LV40 and LV49's badge. These badges are extremely rare, and very few trainers have one or more of these badges. To get this gym badge, you have to win against a gym leader who will use his strongest Pokemon. The gym leader can choose the format of the fight: 1vs1, 2vs2, 3vs3, and so on, and also the arena, which makes the difficulty of this battle, which is already very high, break through the roof. These 3 ranks of badges also have another purpose. Every year each region holds a tournament which is the most important event in the whole region. In Kanto, the tournament is called the Kanto Champion Tournament. And as the name suggests, only the strongest trainers are allowed to take part in this tournament. But in order to participate in this tournament, either one of these conditions must be met. 1. At least 6 B badges and 2 A badges. 2. At least 3 A badge. 3. At least 1 S badge. In addition, none of the participants must be older than 39 if they want to take part in this tournament. The first requirement for the badges is, by far, the easiest to meet. But even then, not many trainers are able to fulfill it to qualify for the tournament. The Kanto Champion Tournament is a tournament where ordinary elite trainers are cannon fodder, and even the trainers who have a mid-elite Pokemon are only halfway strong participants. Because of these high demands, the number of people participates in this tournament per year is much smaller than in the Kanto Rookie Tournament. The top 16 receives generous prizes, so every year, many elite trainers still take part for a chance to win these prizes or to gain experience. Tournament winners sometimes get the chance to challenge an Elite Four member to challenge their place. Alex also had a guess why it is only sometimes and not always. He thought that the Alliance allow trainers to challenge the Elite Four only if they are sure that he or she isn't a spy from Team Rocket or some other underground organization. Although the Alliance often gave other, official, reasons, Alex believed that was the actual reason. The Kanto Champion Tournament will start in Kanto in 6 months, so Alex had already considered participating there. He felt that after 6 months, he will probably be strong enough to secure a place in the top 16. Extra money or resources are always appreciated. And even keeping that aside, he can gain a lot of important experience at least. Alex knew that a victory was impossible for him. Even with 3 Pokemon at level 50, he is, at most, a top 16 candidate and not a trainer with a chance of winning the tournament. The last winner was an old man, with a champion level Pokemon and 5 Pokemon on the late elite level. So Alex knew that in this tournament, he needs a strength of at least 6 late elite Pokemon to even reach the final. This old man was only 39 years old. He was called that by all participants because he was the oldest participant. The age of a trainer is not necessarily equated to strength, but almost every trainer older than 30 is at least not weak, or he would not have survived that long. Champion level sounds very impressive, but the Pokemon of the old man only was at level 60 and much weaker than the champion level Pokemon of the Elite Four members. Not to mention, each Elite Four member has at least 3 champion level Pokemon and is much younger than the old man. Alex had seen the replay of the final on the internet, and he thinks that the old man is not necessarily stronger than a strong gym leader. As far as he knows, Koga and Sabria also have almost 1 champion level Pokemon. Plus, they have a lot more late elite Pokemon, with better potential. Not to speak of Giovanni, who has a similar strength to an Elite Four, at least, according to Alex's assessment. Alex didn't know the true strength of Giovanni and couldn't find a match online that showcases it. There are fights, but these do not show the full power of Giovanni. Compared to the Elite Four, Giovanni's strength is much less known, making him much more dangerous to fight. Alex switched on the TV and switched to the most famous news channel of Kanto, Pokenews. Compared to Alex's previous world, there are far fewer channels in the Pokemon world. But that is most likely due to the lesser population and not because of the technical means. After a few minutes of preface, the program switched to a reporter, standing next to Misty. The reporter and Misty were both dressed very professionally. Though Alex thought that Misty looked stupid in such clothes. The female reporter was a beautiful black-haired woman, and her professional suit had somehow increased her charm. She was obviously taller than Misty, and her wearing high heels made Misty look even more like a child, making it even funnier to Alex. Good afternoon, dear viewers. I am standing just in front of the entrance of the gym arena of Cerulean City, which has received permission from the Alliance to be reopened if Gym Leader Misty wants. She looked at Misty with a smile and said, "Gym Leader Misty, thank you very much for finding the time for an interview." Misty looked at the woman and said with a rehearsed smile, "No problem, and welcome to the Cerulean City." Chapter 250. The female reporter started her questions with a professional smile. "Gym Leader Misty, as announced by the Alliance today, you have been accepted as the successor to the Cerulean City Gym and are now allowed to open the gym again. So, when are you going to reopen the gym?" Misty, who was expecting this question, smiled as she answered, "Although I have a team full of elite Pokemon and met the minimum requirements for the A and B badge, the gym won't be opening for a while." "Oh, what a surprise. Can Gym Leader Misty tell us the reason?" Misty kept smiling as she said, "I'm too weak to really be the gym leader of Cerulean City. So I will wait until I'm at least stronger than Brock, which shouldn't take too long." The female reporter didn't like what Misty was saying. Brock was a gym leader, and Misty insulting him could bring some trouble to her. She also didn't like this haughty behavior of Misty, but she didn't let it out on her face. "Is that related to how you suddenly got so strong? I mean, you are only 14 years old and already have 6 elite-level Pokemon. From which, one is already at LV 47 if I'm not wrong. This is unbelievable. Many even say that you have the talent to be a champion trainer. Brock has nothing to do with me. To be honest, Brock is a waste, and I don't even see him as a gym leader." "He is." The female reporter realized that the situation was getting a bit out of hand and interrupted Misty before she continued to damage Brock's reputation. "Gym Leader Misty, we shouldn't be talking about other gym leaders. We are here for you, after all." She quickly tried to turn the topic in a different direction. "Can you tell us what is the reason that you suddenly got so much stronger so fast?" Misty stopped smiling as she said, "I've had 2 shattering defeats in the last few months, and they made me understand that talent is useless without hard work. After this bitter lesson, I started using all of my time training my Pokemon, and I spent 1 whole month in a dangerous area to get stronger quickly." Unbelievable. The female reporter was a bit astonished. Suddenly, she felt more respect for Misty. "Even though you don't need to go this far, you still put yourself in danger to get stronger faster." "Not necessary." Misty gave out a smile full of self-contempt. "That is nonsense. After reaching the elite rank, if you do not venture into the wild regularly, the leveling speed of your Pokemon will only get slower and slower. Not to mention, you get more fighting experience in the wilderness as you face stronger Pokemon. When I was 12 years old, I didn't see Pokemon training the way I do now and wasted a lot of time. I never trained alone in the wilderness, and I didn't train my Pokemon for more than 2 hours a day on average. Just because my Pokemon have such good potential, I was able to reach the elite rank so early. But I don't plan to become a medium-sized gym trainer, and I don't want to be weak anymore." The female reporter was feeling newfound admiration for Misty as she said, "Your speech is awe-inspiring, and your growth as a trainer is something everyone should strive for." Misty looked in a good mood as she said, "Thank you for the kind words." The female reporter calmed down after a few seconds and asked the question that was bugging her for a while. "You talked about 2 shattering defeats. Can you tell us when they happened and who were you up against?" Misty's good mood suddenly vanished as she heard this question. Well, I think a lot of viewers already know this person. It's the Kanto rookie winner, Alex." The female reporter nodded and said slight bewilderment, "Although Alex had defeated you, this fight was very close, and he won with a lot of luck rather than skill." Alex, who heard this, complained in a voice filled with annoyance, "Unbelievable. How can this reporter be so unprofessional?" Gardevoir, who was sitting next to Alex, said, "Don't be upset, father. You were the best for us." Alex started smiling as he replied, "I know, I was just kidding. I understand that programs like this want to show a positive view of gym leaders and Elite Four members. So it is not surprising that they make excuses. For Misty, who will soon become the main gym leader of Kanto. I mean, you just have to watch them trying to preserve the image of Brock." Ha ha ha. Brock was a shame to all the 8 main gym leaders. And as far as Alex has heard, nobody has a good relationship with Brock. This is not surprising when you consider that Brock spends most of his time in the arms of one or more women instead of training his talented Pokémon. He could have been as strong as Sabrina if he didn't waste so much time. But he is the weakest gym leader even though he is older than Sabrina. In the meantime, Misty continued and told the reporter about Alex and the rematch after the rookie tournament. Well, I think I'm strong enough now that I should be able to easily defeat him. The female reporter said with a smile, I am sure that you have a victory in your pocket. If you are interested, you can tell us, and we would be happy to set up this match. Misty said with a smile, that probably won't be necessary. Without waiting for the reporter to ask back, she continued, the Kanto Champion Tournament will start in 6 months, and I plan to take part there and get one of the top 16 places. In my opinion, Alex shouldn't miss this chance because of the prizes given to the top 16 trainers. So there is a chance that I might come across Alex there. Alex looked at Misty and thought out loud, did she plan for the tournament organizers to see this interview so that both of us will be matched against each other? This way, she won't have to go against someone stronger than her, and she can pay me back too. Or am I just overthinking and overestimating her intellect? Hee. Vulpix chuckled and looked at Alex with her doe eyes. She said in a cutesy voice, Papa is so stupid. Even I already know that you can't talk through TV. Alex just smiled as he put Vulpix on his lap and stroked her. You are right, your father is talking nonsense.